Alright, let's see if we can finish everything up in this third video. The first thing that we need to do is simply come down here onto this next line and write the event listener for both of those buttons. So the first one, the previous button, was BTN previous, EVIOUS. Get it spelled correctly. Let's get my mouse out of the way there. We're going to do an event listener, so we want to add that. We'll do a dot add event listener, parentheses, the event is a mouse event dot, and the first option right there is click, so I'm just going to pick that one. It has to be in all capital letters because, again, we are very case sensitive here. And then we'll do a comma, so what we are saying is when they click on the mouse event for the previous button, what we are going to do is we're going to call a function that we will create called prev for prev load with a capital L, closed parentheses, semicolon. You will notice that we have add event listener. E and L are capitalized. Likewise on mouse event, M and E are capitalized. Now we'll come down here, do the same thing for the next button, BTN. Next dot add event listener, parentheses, and make sure we got that, mouse event dot click. On this one, comma, we'll call one called next load, close parentheses, semicolon. All right. Now, again, I said we were going to create the function, so we'll create a function or a set of codes within themselves. Function, prev load, parentheses, it's an event, so we'll do an E dot, and we execute this on the mouse event, close parentheses, colon, void, because it's not going to return anything. Okay, now some people put the left curly bracket on the same line. For myself, I like to line them up, so on the next line I'll put my left curly bracket. When I press enter, it automatically adds the right curly bracket. Now what I need to do right off the bat, since I'm going to the previous button, I want to decrease or decrement the value of int count. I can do that several ways. The way that I like is just to say that int count minus equals 1. Notice there's no space bar between the minus and the equals. Then I need to check and see, what if when I did a minus 1 that it's 0? Well, I don't have a 0 image, so I'll need to, in that case, move to count 10, make it 10, so I can go to the last image. So here I'll say if parentheses int count spacebar is less than or equals 0, close parentheses. Now I could have, if I wanted, just said if it's equal to 0, but doing the less than or equals kind of solves some problems that could possibly arise on another instance. So we just kind of cover our bases here. On the next line, I'll do my left and right curly brackets, scroll up just a little bit so you can see it, and I'll say that if that is the case, then int count equals 10, single equal sign. Now after this right curly bracket, but before the right curly bracket for the function, I'll just press enter a couple of times, put in my trace statement that we saw earlier. To do that, I say trace, parentheses, double quotes, because I'm going to display some text here. I'll say picture, colon, spacebar, double quote spacebar, plus spacebar, int count, close parentheses, semicolon. So that's going to say picture, colon, and whatever the count of the image is. Okay, now I want to get my slideshow to move to that one. That slideshow string that I had, I'll define this and say that slideshow string, define that up above earlier, equals double quotes, okay, because it's text, images / slideshow underscore. Okay, now there's no spacebar here, double quote, because I'm going to look in my images folder for a file called slideshow underscore, then spacebar plus spacebar int count. Okay, so if int count is 5, I'm looking for slideshow underscore 5, spacebar plus spacebar, and then in double quotes again, .jpg, because these are JPEG files. Double quote, semicolon. Very, very good. Okay, let's scroll it up a little bit more maybe. I'll tell you what, so we can see it. We'll just put some extra ones right there. Now what I want to do on this last line is change the loader. I'm going to say here, my loader dot source equals that string, slide show string, semicolon. Very, very good. Okay, let's write the code now for the previous one, the next load. I'm sorry, we did previous. I looked up and saw that. Now let's do next load. We'll come in here and I'll say function space next load parentheses e colon mouse event close parentheses colon void lowercase left curly bracket, right curly bracket. Now some of this I will be able to copy paste in a moment. In this instance, I'm going to increment the value of int count. So I will say that int count space plus equals 1 semicolon. Then an if statement to see if it's greater than 10. If it's greater than 10, I don't have an 11 or a 12 image, so I need to move back to the first image. Here, if parentheses int count is greater than 10, close parentheses, enter, left curly bracket, right curly bracket, then int count equals 1. Bingo. There we go. Now, just to save ourselves a little bit of time, after this right curly bracket, let's just take, because this code is all the same, we'll just come back up here, highlight those 3 lines, do a Control C to copy, a Control V to paste, and let's just line that little guy up a little bit better right there. I'll close my action scripts. Close that one because I'm through with it. A Control S to save. And a Control Enter once it finishes to test it. And it should load up as it did before. Unless I've made some mistakes somewhere. There we go. There's the first image. Click on the next button. Goes to the next, and it says here on my trace statement, picture 2. Okay, and let's just keep going to each one of these. Okay, and there's picture 9, picture 10, and then this will wrap around now to picture 1. Now, if I'm on the first image and I click previous, boom, it goes to picture 10, 9, 8, 7, and on down the line. If I want to publish this and create the HTML, I can simply go up to File, and publish. And then if I take a look out here as that finishes in just a moment, there we go, very good. We can go back here, go up to my project, and there's the slideshow and the FLA file that I created. Okay, so that's how we can create a slideshow using Adobe Animate. Again, thanks for watching.